What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 55th tutorial in the top downs on the game tutorial series. And yeah, in this video, we're going to be simply creating the health bar. More or less, we're going to be creating progress bars in general. So yeah, and we're going to implement it in a health bar. And yeah, guys, and before we get started, I just want to let you know that the source code, like the link to the source code, is down below in the description, as well as the link to the resources, like all the images and sounds that I use in the game. And yeah, and also one more thing is that I created the Discord server so that we can kind of be a small community where we can help each other out in game development and all that stuff. And we've got some two users, and I want to give a shout out to them, Blood Crimson and Sadik. So yeah, guys, make sure you join the server. You can always ask questions, and and we can get into interesting conversations. And yeah, so guys, let's get started. So yeah, the first thing I want to do is go ahead and create a new Java class, and I'll simply call this a progress bar. Click on finish, go to the UI button, extend the UI component. Okay, yeah, it's been a long time since I worked on the game. I've been sick and I traveled for vacation, all that stuff, and now I'm kind of back. So yeah, progress bar extends UI component. And I think I need to, copy the constructor and all the stuff. Okay, so yeah, I forgot how this kind of works. So I just have to copy all of this. And cool. And paste all of this in here. And yeah, I'll have to change a few things. So yeah, so let me just remove this. Right, for the render, let me just leave it like that, mouse pressed. It's not really gonna matter because I'm not gonna be pressing and we're not gonna be hovering, so it won't matter at all. And yeah, public play button. Okay, not play button, progress bar. So let me just change this to progress bar, and cool. Now what? Now all I have to do, okay, for creating a progress bar, we need two values. Like we need the maximum range and the current value. So yeah, let me go ahead and do this. So I'll simply say, I'll call this a public int. I'll just simply call it maximum. Max, let me just give it a default of 100 and a public int value, and I'll simply give this value of 0 or 1. It doesn't matter. Okay, cool. So that's it. And yeah, so instead of creating a current image, a BG image, and a hover image, I'll simply create two images, and that will be the one inside. I actually have the designs here, like you see here. If I go to the layers, we have rectangle one, or the inside one, I don't know, or the interior rectangle, the exterior. Okay, so interior rect and exterior rect, and that should be good. And now I can simply remove all of this. Oh, I forgot to export this. Okay, cool. So I'll just simply export both of these, control and then file, export, quick export as PNG. So yeah, by the way, I also fixed the play buttons. Now it's not capital, both of them are in small letter. So yeah, let me just quickly do this. And after exporting them, they should be inside here. Let me just simply go to files, and under resources, I can simply go to images and UI gameplay. Exported the wrong image, wow. So yeah, now I can simply go to files, resources, and where is it? Images and gameplay. Here we have them. We have the first one at the back and the one at the front. Cool. So I'll simply call this, I'll rename this refactory name, and I'll simply call this BG underscore progress bar. And I'll call this FG underscore progress bar, yeah. Because this is going to be the background and this is going to be the foreground. And refactor, rename, FG underscore progress. Didn't click. Okay. FG for foreground underscore progress bar. By the way, the what's it called? The images and all the resources will be in the link down below in the description, or it will be in the Discord. So yeah, make sure you join to get the resources and all that stuff. So yeah, now I can simply go back to the project and fix this error. So first of all, instead of calling it interior rect, I'll simply change this to FG and BG because it's just a better name. FG image isn't for foreground image. And the BG image for background image. Cool. And I also need to change this. FG. Okay, that should change itself. Cool. And yeah. FG image. So kind of need to change. It's going to be UI gameplay. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna enter the progress bar and resources images UI. So home, I'll simply change both of these to gameplay. Same as this one. BGFG progress bar, and yeah, I'll simply name this BG underscore progress bar as well as FG underscore progress bar. Okay, it has double S's, so let me change this up. And yeah, now drawing this thing. So yeah, so drawing this, yeah, we kind of have to, we could always set the width and height of the progress bar, but yeah, since I already know that from Photoshop, I can simply check it. Not know it. Yeah, I don't know it, but yeah. So let me click on the big one, and this big one has a stroke of 2. Okay, that doesn't kind of matter right now. The width is 357, and so this is the width and height, 357 and 22. I have to change this to 357 and height of 22. And the X and Y is 186 and 22. So changing this as well. 186 and 22. So I believe they share the same X and Y as as this guy. Yeah, they do share the same X and Y. It's just that the width is a bit different. So yeah, I think that's really good. So what I can do is I can simply, draw this thing. I can simply go with the renderer.draw on screen. I think that was the method that we created. Renderer.draw image on screen, graphics D, all of this. Cool. Graphics position with height. Okay, draw image on screen. Where is the image? Foreground image. So instead of foreground image, we're simply going to be drawing. So instead of foreground image, we're going to be drawing the background image first. And yeah, before we before we start testing everything. Yeah, so before we started testing, we start, having the FG. We start drawing the FG. Let's just test it and make sure it's working. So inside here, I think if I go to scenes and I go to welcome screen, there should be something, I guess. Oh no. UI manager. Okay, so we do have a UI manager. Okay, cool. So I think I need to create another another package, and I'll simply call this, what is it called? And I'll call this what is it called? The gameplay screen. Gameplay and screen. And I think we have something like a UI welcome screen UI manager and extends UI manager. Cool. So I can simply create here. I can go here and create a new, Java class, and it has to be a UI manager. No, yeah, gameplay. Screen UI manager. And I'll make this extends UI manager from, and yeah, what else do we have here? We simply, so we simply had the UI components and all of this. So let me just copy this and do that. So cool. So the welcome screen simply changes to gameplay screen. Actually, should be seen and not screen, but who cares? This equals to new button. Okay, so yeah. So first of all, I want to create a life bar component. Life bar, and I'll simply make it, and I'll simply say life bar is going to equal new. Wait, this is in small letters. How is that so? I actually need to change this. So it should be capitals. So refactor this. It should be a capital letter. Yeah, now that's good. Okay, so I can simply say life bar is equals to new progress bar. And I can simply remove all of these except one and change that and rename this to life bar. So now if you go running, before all of this, why am I still having an error? Okay, I don't think it's an actual error. So yeah, let me go to the gameplay scene, and inside the initialize, I can simply say, how do we initialize this? I think it was at the end. Okay, it was at the end. So for the gameplay screen, I can simply initialize this at the end. I can simply go to, to here at the end, I can simply say UI manager is then equals to new game play screen UI manager, and pass in this scene. And that should be good. And let's go ahead and run this. As you can see, we have our progress bar at the top. And cool. So now let's make a few changes. So yeah, now for the small guy, what is it called? For the foreground, now for the foreground image, we need to make a few changes actually. So sorry. So first thing that I want to do is to we want to draw this foreground, right? This FG. So we need to do some sort of math and calculations for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing is we're gonna get the value. We're gonna have to get this as a percentage or as a normal value so that we can calculate the new width for the FG, for example. Let me show you. So what I'm simply gonna do, I'm gonna simply say I'm gonna have to go into the render method, and here I can simply create a float value and simply call it normal simply name it. I'll simply name it percentage width or variable width because it changes a lot. Variable width, and I can make this is equals to value divided by max. Value divided by max, because it's gonna get like the percentage, because a progress bar kind of represents a percentage of the full thingy. So yeah, and then we're gonna have to multiply this value, multiply this by the current width, So that's cool. And then after doing that, we can simply say render. We can simply call the same thing, but instead of drawing the BG image, it's simply going to be drawing the the FG image. So yeah, now when we run this and we press play, okay, I don't know why the full thing is green now. Instead of width, you should be using variable width. That's right. Variable width. Now, let me run this. Yeah, right now it's kind of like at 1%. So if we change this to 10%. Oh, my goodness. I think I need to cast this into an integer, I guess. Okay, I'll come back right now. Let me look at the problem. Okay, I managed to fix the problem, found the solution. So actually, this used to be int, and now it's a float. So yeah, Java a little bit weird. So yeah. Anyway, so when you run this now, as you can see, it's kind of like representing the whole thing. Now, if I write 100%, if I put this the same value as the maximum value, as you can see, it's gonna span over the full area. So yeah, so the basics of a progress bar is kind of done right now. But if you wanted to, add bezels, we can simply look at since it has this kind of has a stroke width of 2 pixels. What we can do is we can, offset the top, bottom, and left by 2 pixels. So yeah, so simply, I can simply create a public int bezel value. You can simply call it bezel, and let's just make it 2 pixels. Since the bezel is going to be 2 pixels, into bezel 2. I can't write 2px, my bad, it's not Photoshop. Anyway, so yeah, since this is going to be, since that's going to be 2, what we can do is we can simply say, whenever we're drawing this, we can simply say, instead of drawing the first image at the original position, I can simply say new vector 2f, and I can simply draw it at a little bit to the left, I guess. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, a little bit to the left. So that would be, this is the x position, dot x minus bezel. And we also want to, exchange the width a little bit to the right, I guess. So we're gonna add the width with plus bezel. And the height, we're also gonna be increasing it by the bezel. And increasing in height increases, makes something move a little bit downward. So yeah, height, plus bezel. And the same thing for the y, we're gonna have to, reduce it by bezel. So position dot y minus bezel. So hopefully this works when we enter here and we try to run this. Oh, we kind of have a one-way bezel. So yeah, I think we add bezel times 2. I don't know. I'm just guessing things right now, honestly. And we multiply this bezel times 2. For some reason, it just feels right. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Now let me try and explain, hopefully. So what is happening is, mathematically, is that when we take away bezel and we add This is this position at X. So I was removing the bezel and I was adding bezel. So it kind of like moving it to the left and it wasn't kind of doing anything. Yeah, just okay. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, that's what you do pretty much when you add bezels. So yeah, so now I can add bezels if you wanted to, and I can change it to 10 pixels, but that would be crazy. Who'd want to? Yeah, so can I have something that big? And we can make it 0 for that case. Hopefully, yeah, there shouldn't be any whites if it's 0. And yeah, cool. So now we can manually change the bezels. So now we need to implement this into our, into our gameplay scene. So yeah, so now what we want to do is we want to, enter to make this life bar kind of. So when I enter here, what I want to do is I want to create a new life bar progress bar. So Java class create a life bar progress bar. Life bar progress. And I'll make this extends. And this will extend progress bar. Just have to copy the constructor progress bar is going to take in a scene. So yeah, I have to say public life bar progress, and it's going to take in a scene. And I'll simply have to call this super and pass the scene down and make the right imports. Yeah, and I'll have to call in the render function. Why? Because I kind of need to update. So let me override the render and super.render graphics. Cool. Now, before I call the super method, I need to do the updates and all that stuff. So first thing is that what do I need to do? I need to have access to the player because we're gonna be using the player's health. So let me enter the gameplay scene and make those changes. So the gameplay scene, here we go. This is the gameplay scene, and how do we get the player? Get player. Okay, we do have a function called get player. So yeah, so inside the life bar. Okay, I can change this to gameplay scene. I can simply say, I can cache the screen here, the scene, gameplay, the scene. Can't even spell. Do the required imports, and I'll simply call it gscene, and yeah, I can simply cast this into a gameplay scene because this is only going to be entering the gameplay scene, right? So yeah, scene. And to do this now, we kind of need to get the player's health and the player's max health. So yeah, so what I want to do is simply set the max. Max is equals to, I also need to get the player kind of. Player P. And I'll need to import this, add import for player. So I can simply say player dot get max health. Cool. That would be the maximum. And for what is it called? And for the what's it called? For here, I can simply say value is going to be equals to player dot what? Player dot get health. And that should work. Now we just need to set the player. So simply say player is then equals to gscene dot get player. And I think it should be in sync. So yeah, now if we run this, hopefully it works. Now my life is at max. There is a zombie. Something clearly isn't working. I don't know. Let me see what's happening. So instead, if I head to the gameplay UI manager, instead of still calling the progress bar. So instead of calling the progress bar, I want to call it the life. I want to call the life bar. Life bar progress. Cool. And yeah, and I can actually change the bezels here. So I can simply put a bezel of 2 pixels because there was 2 pixels in the image that I created. So now when we run this, yeah, we should have as you can see, yeah, now it's working properly. Let me just get rid of this display statement. And yeah, now we have all the life bars working. It's perfectly now. As you can see, it's kind of representing the amount of health. Our player has. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial, guys. If you're watching to now, thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you join our Discord. And yeah, by the way, the source code will be down below in the description. So is the Discord link to the Discord. So yeah, guys, cool. Peace.